What's going on, everybody? We're going to get ready to get this show started in just a bit. We got some very special guests that's going to be coming on. As y'all can see in the graphic, we got the guys from the Titans Colosseum Podcast. I was recently on their show last week, and now I'm returning the favor having these guys come on our show. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. We're gonna recap Super Bowl 57, the Chiefs Super Bowl champs, yet again for the second time in 4 years. We'll recap that. Also, we're going to definitely get into the coaching staff being finally completed, especially on the offensive side. We're definitely going to talk about that. And where does, what does that mean as far as everything else? What does that mean for the Titans moving forward? And we're going to get into some quarterback news that has come out recently. As far as a couple of quarterbacks that y'all see on the graphic. And we're going to get this show started. And make sure y'all come on in and join the show. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a very good conversation. And we're going to get this rolled on the show. So, TNT, here we go. We're going to get this thing started in less than 60 seconds. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Yo, what's going on, Titan Nation? How's everybody doing? Welcome in to TNT tonight. I am your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we are going to have a great episode on this evening. And so go ahead and first of all, make sure y'all go ahead and share this show out. Again, you definitely see it live on YouTube. And I noticed some people also watching on Twitter. Go ahead and give a follow to TNT Enforcers on Facebook. Also, TNT Blue Enforcer on Twitter and Titan and at Titans_in_truth on Instagram. Go ahead and give a follow right there to those great channels. Go ahead and follow there. Also, definitely make sure y'all are listening up to date on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. All of these episodes will go out onto those platforms after the show is over. I know I've been a little bit behind lately, but I'm going to get caught back up. So blame my brain, not my heart. We're going to definitely get that together. And also make sure y'all smash that like button if you're already subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and smash that like button. I want a whole bunch of likes tonight. Let's get over 50. Let's get over 70. Let's see if we maybe even get to 100. I want as many people in here as possible. Y'all make sure to share the show out to everybody. And believe me, with the guys I got coming on, there's going to be a lot of energy. I promise you that. And last but not least, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, to Titans and Truth. Hit that subscribe button. Also, ring that bell and hit all. So that way, every time a new episode is about to come out, you will be notified. You will know, so you can come on and jump in with me and with us, and have a good time. Because if you're doing that, you're helping me. You're helping me, helping the channel. We're definitely over 1,300 right now, wanting to grow to 1,500, and definitely want by the beginning of the year, I want to get over 2,000 before the beginning of the season. So we're definitely going to get. I definitely want that, and I need your help to do that. Also, super chats are also accepted as well. Definitely like the super chats coming in. I'm gonna get to some of y'all comments in just a minute. Just had to, definitely pay a couple of bills, and so without any further ado, we're gonna go ahead and bring in our special guest. I got some guys that they are gonna bring the thunder and everything in between. I promise you that. And we gonna get this rolled on the show right now. And I'm gonna bring in my guys from the Titans Colosseum Podcast. I'll bring it in my guys Morocco, Big Firestone, and L and RJ onto the show. They are my guys for the Titans Colosseum Podcast. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. How is everybody doing?
Man, we blessed, Truth, man. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm actually feeling pretty good. I can't complain too much.
That's what's up, man. That's what I love.
Yeah, we doing good, man. Just hey, man, a lot of stuff going on this off season, a lot of crazy rumors, a lot of movement about to happen in the following weeks, man. We ready, ready for war.
Yeah, it's crazy, a lot of news. So we're excited to be here and ready to talk. So thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely, it is definitely a pleasure to have you guys on, and we are gonna definitely have some fun, and we finna get on right into it. So let's go ahead and get started with that. And also want to give a shout out. I see a lot of people up in here. I got my guys AZ Mick up in here. Keon, what's up? I know we got our resident Titans hater, Kent Woods, in the house. Miss Mims, how you doing? Miss Mims,
haters everywhere we go.
Hey, they'll be bringing it, and I appreciate the fact, she I know Bible study got canceled, so she coming on in here. Let it all out. We all good. Brandon, what's up? So y'all apologize. I may not be able to get to everybody's comments, but I'm gonna do my best to do that. My guys Zach, Xavier, Do9. I know Do9 gonna bring some stuff too. And yes, before we do get started, I agree about this. Definitely prayers up to everybody up there in East Lansing. At the campus of Michigan State University with the shooting that happened up there. Prayers out to all those families who were either affected or lost a loved one there. So I that was definitely very sad for that what happened there. So I'm pretty sure our thoughts and prayers are definitely with the entire Michigan State University Spartans and everybody up there in East Lansing.
Absolutely.
Right.
So let's get right into this, gentlemen. First off, Super Bowl 57 has now come and gone, and the Chiefs won again. Second Super Bowl in 4 years. Cost me money. I had my money on the Eagles.
I did too. I did too.
Man, Miles Sanders, he got down on me, man. I was hitting on everything else but Miles Sanders.
Bro,
they was running game well. They was running game well like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, and that's I had just about everything else. The only problem was Miles Sanders didn't really get going, and I was dumb enough to pick the under, which I'm thinking if I pick the over, I'm going to be begging for more scores, and they weren't going to score. They were going to score maybe 25. It would have been like maybe 27-24, or it would have been like 23-20, something like that. That's what I thought was going to happen. and instead, it did not go my way at all, and it just completely messed me up. So,
It's a game now.
what were y'all thoughts on the Super Bowl?
I'll start it off. Basically, man, this has just been proving my narrative that I've been saying for about the past couple of weeks, man. This is a quarterback-driven league, man. You can't sit there and tell me that the Kansas City Chiefs were a complete football team. And it was a good game, man. I mean, it was back and forth, you know what I'm saying? The Eagles, you know, they came to play. They held the ball for over 20-something minutes, man. They held the ball for probably 28 minutes. The Chiefs barely even had time to score, but since their quarterback is so elite, they can score whenever, damn near every time they get the ball. But, I mean, the Eagles' second half adjustments wasn't there, man. I don't know what was going on defensively for the Chiefs in the second half. It just seemed like they were getting to the quarterback. They kept playing soft zone when they needed to be playing more physical man. I mean, they did a pretty good job stopping the run, but Isaiah Pacheco, man, that dude, that's a steal in the 7th round, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. That way he was running, man, he was knifing through that defense like it was nothing. But yeah, it just all. But you know, I hated it. It was a great game, and I hated it got ended on a bad holding call at the end. Man, I felt like Jalen Hurts should have got another chance to move the ball and see if he was really the guy. You know what I'm saying, that everybody's been hyping him up to be all season. But like I said, it was a good Super Bowl. I just wish it had a better ending. So.
Yeah, and we're gonna definitely get into that controversial call. We gonna definitely get into that call. Firestone, holla at me.
Yeah. See, I kind of agree with you on that a little bit because of both sides had good quarterbacks, right? So, but I think that game showed it was one in the trenches.
It was
0 sacks given up. Mahomes is hurt, and you don't sack him one time. They went in those trenches, and then in the defense they put pressure on him. So, I thought the Eagles was going to come out and play better, but I lost money. They didn't turn out the way I thought. It was a good game, but it just showed me that at the end of the day, you can have good talent on your team, but you still have to win in the trenches.
All right, Morago, bring that fire.
Man, I pretty much agree with both my guys. I mean, right now it's a quarterback-driven league, but at the same time, too, you better have some defense. You better be able to run the ball whenever you need to run the ball. Thanks. And the Eagles, they came out and, you know, they done what they always do. They done what they did all throughout the season. I mean, they got the ball. They scored on their first possession. I mean, Kansas City came out. You know, they mashed it. And, you know, they pretty much started things, man. I ain't going to lie, though. When Mahomes went down towards the end of the first half, man, I was like, uh-oh, here we go. The Eagles going to run away with it. But once Mahomes came back up out there, man, I mean, he just made magic happen, man. I mean, Kansas City, although they lost the time of possession, they was able to score every single time they got the ball. I mean, they made the winning plays. They, you know, had the touchdown on defense, and they had the big punt return. And, you know, when they went on offense, like I said, they made it count. Whereas the Eagles, you know, they, you know, settled for field goals here and there. You know, Kansas City was able to contain them. I mean, they, you know, had some good plays here and there, but, you know, it wasn't that Eagles offense that we seen all throughout the year. But I'm going to say the rest of it for when we talk about this call, man, because, you know, I feel kind of differently about that right there. So if y'all ready to get to it, man, I'm ready to get to it myself.
Yeah.
It's like the Chiefs won on all three phases of the field where the Chiefs or where the Philly was just trying to struggle to win offense.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely on that. Let me see. Quickly, I got to get my guy Derek Roberts paying his tithes and offerings to the congregation. He said, been a minute, but we back to Titan football. I definitely appreciate that. I got somebody else. Dion said, these dudes don't never read my comments.
I saw that name. I was like, man, he be on our podcast in the comments all the time.
Yeah, we read them. We just in the
man.
beginning of the show. We don't like to post too many comments just because we trying to knock these topics out. You know what I'm saying? Before
Exactly.
Yeah, man. But we definitely appreciate you, D9, along with everybody else. Man, don't think we ain't reading them though, because we most definitely see them and we appreciate them. Keep them coming.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. So I'm gonna say this. I hate I lost money. I thought it was a hell of a game. And I'm with y'all. I thought when Mahomes was hurting a bit, I'm like, oh, I think Philly finna do it. I'm like, I'm looking good. And it didn't happen that way. And I forgot about that punt return. But the two biggest plays of the game that changed everything. One was the call we're going to talk about. The other, the Jalen Hurts fumble. That was a big play in the game. You take away that play, instead of it being 7 points, Eagles might be up 35-31 and might have won the game. But, the Eagles, they choked. Jalen Hurts choked in the big moment. That was his first Super Bowl for Mahomes. This was his third. So Kansas City, they've been in Super Bowls. They know what's up. Philly hasn't been there in a while. So that was a whole new experience for them. And I didn't really think about that until it was too late. But
I just didn't see Patrick Mahomes making it through the full game. I just didn't see it.
I don't think anybody did. I don't even think anybody did. And so that's just something that was just crazy and everything. And then, of course, Lauman says Super Bowl was rigged.
Man, did y'all see how
Here we go with rigged?
Before we get to the rigged thing, man. Before we get to the rig thing, though, like, did y'all see how bad that field was? Like, man, that grass was terrible,
it was
dude.
Awful.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I mean,
that field was awful.
The field was bad. The field was bad. You got people slipping and sliding all over the place. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, man, that looked like Nissan Stadium on a rainy day.
Yeah. And it's crazy because it was indoors, though. Like,
bro, I ain't gonna lie. They was pushing it here because, I'm out here in Oklahoma. They was pushing it big out here in Oklahoma because that type of turf and grass that they used in the Super Bowl on that field actually came from Oklahoma State University. So they were talking about, Oklahoma grass is going to be used for the Super Bowl. And then you see them out there and all they're talking about is they're slipping left and right. And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So now we go talk about the controversial call. And that was the defensive holding that nothing else was called the whole game. But they called it on Bradbury against Juju Smith, which basically ran out the clock and gave the Chiefs the game. We all saw it, but I want to know, yes or no, if you were the ref, are you throwing that flag?
I say no. It's just a simple fact of, man, I'm not making no call that's going to decide the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, they haven't been calling that all game. We seen the Eagles get a pass interference earlier in the game. We seen the Chiefs holding. You know what I'm saying? They was doing it all game. Why call it at that point in time of the game that's going to decide it? So that's why I say I don't call it. It was holding, though. I'm not going to sit there and deny that it wasn't. It was definitely holding, but they shouldn't have been called. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have been called.
I say no.
Go ahead, Firestone. Take it.
I say no, just because of the fact that he had his jersey, he grabbed a little bit there, and he does have it, but I don't feel like anything he did altered his route running or held him back or altered his speed, changed anything up at all. So I just say no. Yeah, he had a little bit of the jersey here and there, but I don't think he altered his route running in any way.
All
right. To answer the question, what I call that holding call right there in that moment, In that moment, no. I mean, I understand what everybody's saying. Let these dudes play. It's the biggest game of their life. And you just gotta go out there, let them do their thing. As long as it ain't nothing blatant or obvious, I mean, let them do what they do. But I'm here to tell you, I don't feel sorry for the Eagles. Yeah, they made the right call. And I don't fault them at all for making that call because of the simple fact it was holding. I mean, people complain all year long. Oh, the refs ain't calling this, refs ain't calling that. But when they call something, you're complaining about them calling them. I understand the moment, but at the same time, you got to make a decision, man. Do you want the refs to, do their jobs, or do you want them to just go out there and just allow the dudes to, play their game or whatever? But I mean, the Eagles, they shouldn't have let the game come to that point. I mean, they was up 10 points at halftime, and it appeared that Mahomes wasn't gonna come back in the game. I mean, obviously he did, and he made magic happen. But feeling sorry for Philly, am I gonna sit up there and complain? No. I mean, when I was playing football, I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and talk like I was just this big, all pro NFL player, nothing like that. Nah, I mean, it ain't nothing like that. But how I was brought up, you don't complain about the refs. I mean, no matter what, you don't complain about the refs. I mean, let the coaches, say what they got to say. You hold yourself accountable. And that's my thing right there, man. The Eagles shouldn't have never let their game get to that point. I'm not mad about that call at all. Congratulations, Chiefs. They done their job.
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
And here I'm gonna get to some comment. Brandon said, "Yep, it was holding." Loudman said, "Nope, I'm not throwing it." Derek says,
I'm not throwing it.
D09 said, "You don't call that." 615, my guy Lee said, "I would call it. I wouldn't have thrown it." So, that's it. He made a bad choice. He was holding, so he would have called it too. Here's my thought on this. In hindsight 2020, in any regular game, especially if it's against the Titans, that flag's going to get thrown no matter what. So I'm going to say, yes, it was holding. Although I'm like, it's within like 5 yards. So you kind of, I thought it was ticky-tack. So I could see it where it's like, yep, you throw it anyway. But this is the damn Super Bowl. You don't let a flag like that decide the game, especially at that particular moment. I'm like, you don't throw the flag at that particular time unless it's just egregious. If it's
like
it's
the Rams and Saints.
Blatant, you know it is. There's no choice, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. In a way, that was a little bit of hand fighting or whatever. You tugged at him a little bit. Was it really like he drug him down or anything like that, or just grabbed him and all like that? No. So in that instance, I would not have thrown the flag in that situation unless it was absolutely, obviously blatant. If it's that point, I'm throwing the flag. But if it's just ticky-tack like that, let the players play. Let them decide the game on the field. Refs too many times try to be the star of the show, trying to get their moment in the sun, and it should be decided that way. If Kansas City ends up winning after that, so be it. But Morocco, you are right. If that had been the Tennessee Titans in that situation, and that flag is thrown, we all tripping. we all going crazy. Like, why you throw that flag? Or on the other side, if that flag's not thrown and we lose the game, or we're like, where's the flag at?
Right.
So
right.
It can happen both ways. It can happen both ways. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. What happened in the game happened. Chiefs win. Mahomes is MVP. And, well, we are on to the next season. So now we are officially in the off season, and we had some promotions made as far as the coaching staff. We got, Tim Kelly's offensive coordinator. Charles London gets hired as the quarterback's coach, passing game coordinator. And then just announced Justin Odden is the running backs coach and run game coordinator. And I forgot to mention Chad Brinkler from the Green Bay Packers is now officially the Tennessee Titans assistant general manager under Rand Carthon. I wanted to get y'all thoughts on these moves that have been made. As far as, do you think these are good moves? These good moves, which one is probably the most important? And what this could mean for Mike Vrabel, because I got some fire to bring on this one.
We already know you ready to tell the truth. But I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. Overall, I like it. I pretty much said what I felt about the Tim Kelly hire. It was uninspiring or whatever, but it ain't the worst hire that has been made. He'll come in there, he'll be better than Ty Downing. How much better he'll be than Ty Downing, it's yet to be determined. But I expect the offense to be significantly better under Tim Kelly. The rest of the hires, I like them bringing in Charles London. I most definitely like them bringing in Justin Alden because he was actually the OC for Denver. I think weeks 17 and 18 he took over. And Denver's offense, you already know, that was a mess all throughout the season up into those weeks right there. It looked like, Russ was back doing his thing, people were making plays. It was a good hire, and I'm gonna claim it. I got to have faith. I got to claim it. When Tim Kelly gets hired away to be somebody's head coach, I would expect Alton and Charles London to one of those two to step up and take over the role as OC. So, like I said, overall, I like the moves. I'm with it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. Like I said, we've already talked about the Tim Kelly hire. Look, right. Tim Kelly, to me, I feel like it was uninspiring, but like we can't sit there and act like we didn't want Tim Kelly as our offensive coordinator along last year. You get what I'm saying? Like there was people that before we wanted to hire him from the Texans. We were thinking about hiring from the Texans that we wanted him. It was just uninspiring because we wanted somebody from outside, which I don't think Tim Kelly is just a bad offensive coordinator. I think we need to let him call some plays before we pass judgment. As in Charles London, Charles London was he was brought in here to be try to be the offensive coordinator, and he was also interviewed by a lot of other teams. So apparently he knows what he's doing. We're gonna see how, like I said, we gotta see how it unfolds before we judge him. And then Justin Auden, he's already talked about with Denver. Denver's offense looked a lot better whenever Nathaniel Hackett was fired, and they had him running the offense. So we're gonna see how that looks. I like the hires. I feel like we gotta give them a chance to move. You know what I'm saying? Give them a chance to do something, and we'll see how it goes from there.
All right, what you got, Firestone?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a different outlook, which you already kind of heard. We already kind of talked about, and I kind of know where you're going. But I think I'm optimistic about it because I think it's the best that we had available to us. If we're being honest, we don't have that much of an offensive team that would have really brought in any outside offensive coordinator that would really wanted to come here and work. We don't have anything that's really going to set them up for success or really that's appealing to them. So I think it shows that we're trying to make changes, but these were honestly the best options that was truly available and to us. So I know a lot of people's going to be hard on Vrabel right now, but I think Vrabel's trying to make a change, and hopefully he set up that these will be, like I agree with Marco, I think these will be the offensive coordinators in line if Tim Kelly gets hired elsewhere, and then if not, hopefully this GM Rand can get us some talent that will be more appealing to some offensive coordinators next season if we need that appeal as well. I just don't think our offense is too appealing to offensive coordinators right now to go get the Nagys and the all these other ones that we really truly wanted to. So hopefully maybe we can build some more talent around the offense, and then next year we can go get a more high-profile offensive coordinator. I just don't think we truly had the options available to us like we thought or like we hoped.
Absolutely. And I'll go with this. Tim Kelly, we already know what I thought about that. Yeah, last season we wanted to see at least a little bit. I think with Tim Kelly, it wasn't so much we don't want him as OC. I think it was we just wanted to have him have some experience calling plays before we decide to give him the keys to the kingdom. I think that's what it was. And in the end, I think that was a good choice. I don't know a lot about him, but I know he did call some games for Denver, and we always know Denver usually always tend to have a nice running game. Denver usually has a nice running game. No matter who at running back, they tend to do pretty well running the football. Charles London, we're going to see about him. I mean, he was down there with Matt Ryan, and, they struggled with Mariota and with Desmond Ridder this past year. So I don't know if that's as much on him as anything else. We're definitely going to, find out. It's good to get some more ideas. But I will say the most important hire and the most important position that's probably going to determine Mike Vrabel's fate was the internal hire he made on the offensive line, Jason Houderling. I believe that hire is going to make or break Mike Vrabel. And Vrabel better get on his knees and pray to God that this works. Because the last couple of off seasons, all Vrabel has done is said, it's the players. It's the players. He's never blamed the coaches. He's never said, you know what, my coaches didn't coach very well. I mean, here's the thing about this. In the last 4 Super Bowls, all 8 coaches that were competing for the Super Bowl in the last 4 years have all been offensive-minded head coaches. Morocco, you said this earlier. This is a quarterback-driven league. All y'all said is a quarterback-driven league. It's a passing league now. Revolving your game around a running game is a thing of the past now. So we're an anomaly. Vrabel better pray this works because he's got to prove last year was a fluke. You lost 7 straight games. You had a division in hand and you gave it away. And everybody could blame Todd Downing. Everybody can make excuses for the injuries. Injuries, I get it. It happens. But 2 years in a row is not a coincidence. You can't blame Todd Downing anymore. He's out the door. So again, this all falls on Vrabel's head. If Tim Kelly fails, if Houderling fails, if any of these coaches fail and the Titans fail this upcoming season, Bye-bye, Vrabel. It's going to be over. And then we go get a offensive-minded head coach, and he'll go want to go get his quarterback. We got a lot of quarterback stuff we got to get into. So, again, decent hires, but why do I have the feeling Vrabel's going to find a way to screw this up? Because he likes yes men under him. He doesn't like being challenged. That's why Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy, I don't think they were thought of, because they might have would have challenged his authority and been like, look, Mike, worry about the defense. I got the offense. I got this. Vrabel ain't going to go for that. He wants all the power. He getting all the smoke. He better be able to hold on to it, because if he don't, he going to be out. And that's, that's the that on that. 615 said, seat looking a little steamy. I agree. I think Vrabel's seat could get a little warm, maybe even close to hot. So it's all going to depend on that, but I think these are solid hires. And so,
you don't think he's been limited a little bit? You don't think he's been limited a little bit from the players around him, and that's why he calls out the players? Not saying that they're bad players, but to say that not the players that's going to fit what they're actually trying to do there, because like we say all the time, and what he said even recently in press conferences, we don't need players that when you know that they're going out on the field that they're only good for one thing. We got to have players that are versatile. So you don't think maybe J-Rob was limiting him a little bit because you can only, work with what you got, and that was really more of the issue, and he was like tried to do what he best sometimes, but man, at one point we had 31 people on injured reserve this year. That's a lot of injuries. That's not a little bit of injuries. That's a lot.
And I hear what you're saying on that. And the injury thing was insane. Yeah. It's insane that happened 2 years in a row.
Facts.
But the only thing I go back to is this. You take a look at San Francisco. San Francisco, there was 1 year, I think a couple of years ago, San Francisco couldn't do a thing because everybody was hurt. Everybody was hurt, and that's when I believe that was the year after that they got Trey Lance. Everybody was hurt. They had their 1 year down. And now San Francisco is back up again. This past year, I mean, that's where it showed coaching matters. They're on their third string quarterback in Brock Purdy out of nowhere. And he comes up, and until he gets hurt in the NFC Championship, he ain't lost a game. Kyle Shanahan did that because Kyle Shanahan put him in the best position to succeed.
But I mean, they also still had their talent around them. So they still had Bosa, they still had Little, they still had Debo. So like that's one player. But like when you miss half of your starting lineup from your starting roster, that's a little different. Like and San Francisco is a great example of that. That's what we need to get like, and we've talked about that a couple of times too. But like it was just at a point where these past couple of years we got to figure out what that problem is, because it's not an excuse, but it is a reason, and we need to figure it out and get it fixed real quick because it can't happen for a third year.
I think if the Titans get better on the offensive line, the offense is going to get better. We were just so bad on the offensive line that we couldn't run our normal offense. And I feel like if we can actually push people around on the offensive line, Derrick Henry is going to be able to do Derrick Henry things. Derrick Henry is still, to me, look like the best running back in the league. Easily. Like, yeah, you could say Josh Jacobs had more yards than him. Derrick Henry had the worst offensive line in football, and he had more rushing yards than Nick Chubb. Dude is still the best running back in the league, man. He's probably going to be there for another 3 years. Like, people don't understand how great of a running back that we have. And then when we get an offensive line, you're going to see for yourself. I promise.
Yeah, I agree with everybody about that. I mean, if we got a good, stable offensive line, I honestly believe we'll at least, win the division and, go to the playoffs or whatever. But what it's going to really boil down to is having those weapons on the outside. Because when you got those weapons on the outside and a respectable quarterback, defense has got to respect that. And they said something during the Super Bowl that, you know, had me thinking. I mean, the Eagles, I mean, they got Devontae Smith, I guess that's his name, Smith, and AJ Brown. Man, DBs or whatever, DBs and safeties, man, they can't, you know what I'm saying, sit down in a box like that with, you know, those two on the outside or whatever. And it's our Philly running game. I mean, that's how they running game get to going. I mean, is that offensive line mixed with the fact that you can't load the box on there. So, I mean, yeah, we most definitely got to fix that offensive line, but getting weapons on the outside, I mean, that's equally as important.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You definitely got to get some weapons on the outside. You definitely got to have the offensive line because that is extremely important. And then we got to, you know, we definitely got to have an answer. We got to see what's going on at the most important position, and that is the quarterback position. And that's definitely what we're going to get into. You know, that's what we're going to get into next. Make sure y'all smash that like button. You know, and everything. Make sure y'all smash the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe if you hadn't already. Titans Rossi comes in and says, I just think there's a plan for the O-line going into this past season was terrible to begin with, and I hope they've learned their lesson this time around. And I definitely agree. 615 says the Titans lose 5 or 6 straight to start the year. Vrabel is gone, and I agree.
Yeah.
Ricky had an issue with what I said. Said best head coach we've had. Why are you down on him? Do you want to be head coach? I'm like, okay.
I can see
Ricky.
you on the sideline.
I'm like, okay, Ricky. Here's my thing.
I still believe Vrabel.
If I was head coach, here's the thing that I would do that I just don't think Vrabel does right now. I'm getting players. I'm going to fit my scheme around my players and what they do well. Set them up for success, not set them up for failure. And I think at times, yes, we had the injuries. I get that. But I think all of us are sick and tired of hearing about injuries. I think we all are. And I'm just saying the reason why I kind of went on Vrabel like that is because he's blamed players for years. We all know that Vrabel is an arrogant, cocky son of a gun. The dude thinks he knows it all and will let you know it and will think that any of us don't know the game as good as he does. And all of us here have watched a lot of football. We ain't saying we know more than him, but I think us, anybody that's watching right now, knows the game pretty good. I would say. So maybe I do things a little bit differently. I ain't saying I will be as good as Vrabel. And I'm not saying that Vrabel is a bad coach. As far as I want to say I heard this on, I want to say it was either Robbie Rexrow or on Buck's show, Buck Rising. Vrabel is an excellent CEO. He's a leader of men. I will give him that. But as far as X's and O's, not so much. That's what his guys around him are going to have to do. So that's, that's just the answer to that question.
And let me add this. Let me add this right here. Vrabel, he done put himself in this position with a lot of people because of Todd Downing and how he handled that situation. I mean, everybody saw how bad he was in his first season as OC. And then, like Chris said, he go up there, think he know more than anybody else, regardless of what's on tape. He goes up there and says, it's the players, and proceeds to bring Todd Downing back. Todd Downing has an even worse season this season. Catches a DUI in process, and he rides with him until somebody said he got to go because I really don't believe.
I don't think he was gonna let him go.
He
I don't think he was gonna let him go.
Bro,
I believe somebody told
him.
him. Somebody told him, "You let this guy go, or else you go."
What's going on, K Moore?
I love Ken
What's
Moore.
going on, kid?
My dude Ken Moore. And everybody out there, make sure y'all go check out K Moore Sports. Check out Ken Moore. You know he brings fire. You know, definitely with ESPN3, especially when he does his college football in the SWAC. Y'all check him out. He's gonna be back on the show soon enough. You know he be bringing some facts. That much is a fact. Right. So you know. And then Brandon, I love my dude, Brandon. He said, your blood pressure would be through the roof.
I can see you having one of the Dennis Green moments. Get up there,
be like,
talk about
who we thought they were.
I can definitely see
better
that.
yet, Jim Moore, playoff. You can't win. I could see like just or who was that? I think it was like a Michigan women's basketball coach coming and going, how we get out rebounded? We got out rebounded. If y'all haven't checked out YouTube, go check out the best coaches rants. Some of them will make you laugh till you're about to cry. Seriously.
Okay. All right.
And Derek with the super chat, I appreciate it. You know what he said? You gotta coach better, you gotta play better, you gotta do better.
Coach,
you gotta do. It all starts with me.
Look, I believe in Vrabel though. I think Vrabel is a very, very good coach, man. I just think that, man, it's just hard to be a good coach when the players aren't. You know what I'm saying? When we had a very bad offense. It would have been bad if we had Bill Belichick coaching this team. You feel me? Like it was gonna be a bad offense, no matter the coach or not. I think he gotta get the players, man. We seen what he do when he has good players, man.
I agree. So let's get into the most important position, and that is the quarterback. And so, of course, Tennessee, the Raiders went ahead. They were not able to get a deal done, and they were not able to get a trade done, and they decided to go ahead and release Derek Carr from the Raiders. Already there's a lot of quarterback needy teams, like the Panthers, like the Saints, the Buccaneers. Another team that has been linked to them, the Tennessee Titans. And so a question, Loudman comes out and says, we want no broken down car. So I'm gonna make this easy and simple. You're hearing that the Titans are expected to pursue Derek Carr. And we already dealing with Ryan Tannehill. Of course, they will release Tannehill if they go out the car. But the question is, do we go get Derek Carr? Would you go get Derek Carr rather?
I'll start this one off. All right, let me go ahead. Hell no. I don't want Derek Carr at all. He's not a winner, bro. Like, yeah, he may have better stats than Ryan Tannehill. He's not a winner, man. He can't even win with Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, a good offense. Why would I want him? Why would I want him, man? Ryan Tannehill's better than him. He's proven on the field time after time again. He's better than him. They played each other this year. The Titans played the Raiders this year. Ryan Tannehill looked like a better quarterback that day. Why would I want him? You know what I'm saying? He beat him. This man Derek Carr had way better weapons than the Tennessee Titans had that day. And Ryan Tannehill, all he had was Derrick Henry. He beat him. Come on, man. I don't want that dude, bro. Get him out of there. He's not an upgrade.
I agree 100%. And he cost him more. He's going to cost him more. So, no, I don't want him. I stick with Tannehill. Tannehill knows the system. And then if we do trade off Tannehill, we need to go another route then. We don't need to, adapt this Colts mentality to let's go find somebody else's quarterback. No, if we're going to go ahead and let Tannehill go, let's go ahead and start looking to the future.
Yeah, man, I agree with both my guys once again. I mean, at first I said that, I was open to it, but after reading an excellent article by Zach Lyons, I pretty much said, nah, we don't even need to go down that road, man, because like RJ said, man, this dude, I mean, he done had weapons that, Tannehill ain't ever had before. I mean, yeah, Tannehill had A.J. Brown. I mean, he had Derrick Henry, Corey Davis, and a list of others, but, you ain't had he ain't had one of the best wide receivers in the game. He ain't had no Hunter Renfro. He had the league's leading rusher this year. I mean, he done had stuff all throughout his career and still hasn't accomplished what Tannehill done accomplished. And we definitely shouldn't make a lateral move or even, step down from what we got now. It's either keep Ryan Tannehill or trade him and, let's start, looking for our future guy.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing from the Raiders culture. Their culture is sad.
Right.
Culture is sad, dude.
And I think a lot of people are, saying the same thing. A lot of people are saying no, as you've seen in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and make this unanimous. Why? It's like when you traded A.J. Brown and drafted Traylon Burks. Why did you trade A.J. Brown to draft potentially A.J. Brown?
Right. Exactly.
Tannehill and Carr are basically the same player. And I think Tannehill is slightly better. So I'm with everybody. Absolutely H-E double hockey sticks. Hell no. Derek Carr. Ain't no way that car is in the lot. It depreciates with value. It's a used car. And used car prices are high. And like Firestone said, he's going to cost a pretty penny. Why in the world are you going to pay a lot more for Derek Carr when you can just keep Tannehill? Makes no sense. No. Quickly in that.
He going to get that 35, 40 million, but it ain't going to be from us.
Yeah,
exactly.
No.
Which now leads me to Tannehill. And the Jets the rumor is that the Jets are very high on Ryan Tannehill. Maybe not as high as some other guys, but they're pretty high because here, the Jets media put this out, of course, from one of their insiders, Connor Hughes, basically said that the New York Jets are very high on Ryan Tannehill. They're very high on him. And my guy, Titans Rossi, he's caught some fire from some people, has basically said, from their inside source, from their source, that, Ryan Tannehill possibly to the Jets. They could be giving up. They may give up a couple of 2023 draft picks and maybe take on that $27 million left on Tannehill's contract as a cap hit. So, but reading on that in a statement on that article, said the Jets are going to do their homework. Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Ryan Tannehill. That's pretty much the pecking order. Rodgers is clearly at the top of that list. Carr's the consolation prize. Wouldn't be the worst thing. And then, of course, they talk about Jimmy G, his familiarity with Robert Saleh. And then, of course, Ryan Tannehill. Don't sleep on him. There's a feeling around the NFL that the Jets are much higher on him than some want to believe. That is from Connor Hughes. He is a reputable source. He's a reputable source for the New York Jets. He's one of their insiders. And so the Jets very high on Ryan Tannehill, which makes me wonder if the Jets offer a second and a fourth for Ryan Tannehill. Do you make that trade? Yes or no?
Run it.
I'm gonna go last on this one.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and run it. Because I mean, we got Tannehill for a 4th round draft pick. So you getting the 4th round draft pick back on top of a 2nd round draft pick. And Lord knows we need as many draft picks as we can get. Now, what we do with those picks, I don't know. I mean, if they fall in love with one of these quarterbacks, Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, I mean, maybe you package that up and move up, or you just keep your picks and roll with Malik, maybe sign Dawes back or whatever, and go ahead and build the team. And then next year you make a move at a quarterback. I don't know how they're gonna play this, but all I know is if the Jets want to get it up for Ryan Tannehill, most definitely got to take it.
I say at bare minimum, yeah, you take that. That has to be the bare minimum for him, though, right? It has to be a 2nd round and that 4th. But for me, and RJ's going to like this a little bit, for me, if I'm trading Tannehill away to a team for them, I'm giving you a playoff possibility, especially in the Jets with the offense you already got. You got a bunch of wide receivers. Todd Downing's there now. That's a Ryan Tannehill chemistry. Oh, Corey Davis is there as well. That's a Ryan Tannehill chemistry. So you already have some familiarity. So if we do that, let's try to get that first pick from him, that 1st round pick from him, right? We got 11. They got 13. Let's go ahead and use that 11 and that 13th. We can jump up to 1st, right? Because that's a lot more draft capital. That's something that we can then leverage to get us into that position that we want to for you to go get Bryce. So I would try to push for that, but at bare minimum, I would take that 2nd and 4th. Because I love Tannehill, but for that, I mean, you got to take that one.
Yeah, and go ahead and get on me. I say, yeah, go ahead and make that trade. Look, I like Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill has done a lot of good things with this franchise. He's made good plays, made spectacular plays. Even had me believing that he was some top 5, top 10 quarterback. You know what I'm saying? There was a point in time where I was like, man, we struggle with this dude. And I know if he goes to the New York Jets, I mean, he's gonna do the same thing with them. He's gonna make good plays. He's gonna play hard. He's gonna put his body on the line. But I just know, come play all time, and when them lights get bright, when he's playing against, going toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes, he gonna get beat. Like I said, I like him. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks that we've had since Steve McNair. But like I said, he's not gonna get you to a Super Bowl, man. He's gonna make you play hard. He's gonna be able to work with those wide receivers. He's gonna be able to work with Todd Downing, Robert Saleh. Their defense gonna have to play spectacular. They're gonna have to have a 2000 Ravens defense for them to get to the Super Bowl. Like, that's what it's gonna take for the Jets to get there in this AFC. Yeah, they got a really good defense. You know what I'm saying? They got a really. I see why they want a quarterback so bad. You know,
and they got wide receivers too.
Yeah. And right now we have the Jets where we want them. It's all going to come down to where Derek Carr goes, because I'm sure they're going to try to go for Derek Carr before they go for Ryan Tannehill, because they want to trade anything. They'll just have to pay him. So it depends. If Derek Carr goes to like the Saints, you know what I'm saying, we could probably, we got the Jets where we want them. They're desperate. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to get that 1st round pick out of them. You know what I'm saying? Rand Carthon, go ahead and make some moves.
If
Tannehill,
RJ Firestone, y'all was kind of thinking the way I would. Like, y'all kind of took the words right out of my mouth. I'm gonna say, and I think quite a few people have said, you take that deal. Loudman's the only one that said no on that. Here's my thing on that. Like Titan Overdrive said yes. Ms. Mim says yes. Keon says trade up. Ricky said we need younger draft picks. We need to get younger and faster, and I agree. And I think this: if the Jets come calling, you better listen. And RJ, you're absolutely right. I think the Derek Carr domino has to fall first before we make this move. Because if Derek Carr doesn't go to the Jets right off the bat, then the Jets, if they feel that they're a quarterback away from making it to the playoffs, completing with Buffalo in that division, you try to milk them for everything they got. If you do everything possible, you at least see if they're willing to give up number 13. See if they give up their first, their second, and their fourth. Now, if they're not willing to do that, then I'd be like, okay, you give me your second, you give me your fourth this year, give me a number 1 or a number 2 next year. Then that way, you do that, you know, whether Aaron Rodgers comes for a year or you go in a different direction, you have enough ammunition the following year. If Aaron Rodgers only played for 1 year, I'm thinking hypothetical, and this is all just rumors. None of this is like, oh yeah, they're definitely working something. It's rumor. Yes. Remember, y'all, everybody, this is lying season. A lot of lies get told. I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio and Django. A lot of lies are gonna get told around this time tonight, and that you better believe.
A lot of used car salesmen out there.
There are a lot of used car salesmen out there, and most of them are agents. So you try to see if you can squeeze that 13th pick out of the Jets if they're desperate enough. If they are desperate enough, they'll do it. If they want a quarterback that bad and they feel that they're that close to the playoffs, because they do have a good team.
Yeah. And I was looking on Twitter, man. I seen Jets putting up his career numbers with the Titans. I said, "Oh yeah, they
yeah, they'll be good with them." I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they'll be good with them. I mean, good. Like I said, I mean, don't sleep on their defense because they got some dogs on their defense, and
the defense will have to do that.
Right,
and it ain't just don't even just think the Jets though. Like the Saints need a quarterback, we could trade them.
There could be a bidding war.
If Green Bay lose, if he lose Aaron Rodgers, they gonna need a quarterback.
Depending on where Carr or Rodgers goes, there could be a nice little bidding war for Tannehill, which ups the price and it helps us out.
Bro, because
the Saints have a late first round pick. Yeah. The Bucks have a late first round pick.
The Bucks need a quarterback. Yup. Think about them.
Yeah. Panthers might get desperate if somebody goes and gets Stroud, Young, and Levis before them. Then they might say, okay, we'll give up number 9 and get Tannehill. You know? So, I mean, not saying they will, and I might be getting greedy, but it is possible. So, I like that. And it does lead to the question of, if you get rid of Tannehill, who's the quarterback? There are a couple possibilities that we'll probably talk about at a later time. You could go get Stroud. You could go get Young. Maybe trade up to 1 if you can. If not, you could possibly go swing for the fence, get Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he might be worth $50 million, but he will be worth the investment, especially with the cap savings that you get. And if all else fails, let Malik and Dobbs battle it out. You build everything else around, or you find you a bridge quarterback. And if it goes bad, you're in prime position, possibly for Caleb Williams, for Drake Mays, for Phoenix out of Washington. Those quarterbacks, and a lot of people are saying next year's quarterback class miles better than this one.
Yeah, it's more depth.
Now,
it's more depth.
Is that fair to the defense? No, it's not. But you better get Jeffrey Simmons repaid and just let him and Kevin Byard know, hey, we fixing this offense for y'all. Trust me, we fixing this offense. Because that's what I feel. And I'm going to ask this last question and we're going to get ready to get out of here. Rebuild or reload? I want to get y'all a quick response right quick before we get ready to go, because I know Firestone said he got to roll out.
Yeah.
Rebuild or reload?
I say it's reload. I say it's reload. Because I think, honestly, Rodgers is going to go to Vegas. I think he's going to go there to go back with Adams. I think that's where he's going to go. I think Carr is going to go Saints or Carolina. So if we go and trade Tannehill to the Jets, we might go grab Garoppolo for a year with Rand having where he came from and knowing somebody that he like, and it's a cheap QB to get us through the year. Or we might just stay with Dobbs and Willis and let them battle it out for a year if we don't draft a quarterback this year. So I say it's reload because they're going to try to find pieces that'll get us to compete right now rather than rebuilding for a couple years down the line. But I don't know. We'll see.
I say, it's gonna be a 1 year rebuild. I think a 1 year rebuild, and if that's if we trade Tannehill. If we don't trade Tannehill and we just say, hey, we're gonna fix the offensive line and grab some weapons, it's a reload year. But if we, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like Mike Vrabel's job is gonna be in jeopardy if he brings back Tannehill. We don't do anything, and it's just why we still have Ryan Tannehill. You know what I'm saying? I say a 1 year rebuild in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I'll go with oh, it's tough, man, but
hey,
gun to my head, I will go with a reload because of just how the defense is set up. I mean, shoot, if this defense go out there and play how we expect our defense to play, we gonna be in some games, and with Vrabel being the coach he is, I mean, we gonna win a good amount of games. And how this division is set up, I mean, we don't know who's going to have who, but I'm going off of history, and what history tells me, Jacksonville finna get ready to stink up the place. The Colts, I mean, they still doing Colts things. And the Texans, I mean, they probably set back for another 5 years just because of all the foolishness that they done over the last 5 years. So, I mean, we could easily, I hate to say easy, but we can sneak this division away with, just reloading. I mean, if Malik can develop, and the game slows down for him, I feel like he can, get us through the season. Now, if they feel like that Malik, still ain't got it yet, it still ain't clicking for him yet, go ahead and roll with Josh Dobbs. I mean, if we trade Tannehill away, go ahead and roll with Dobbs because, I mean, honest to God truth, I mean, Dobbs is not a bad quarterback. I mean, his problems are fixable. I mean, situational awareness. I mean, you got to learn how to throw the ball away when you're supposed to throw the ball away. I mean, don't check the ball down till you're running back on fourth and whatever. I mean, just little small things that you can teach up. I mean, if he do that right, does shoot. I mean, I feel like that ain't just a full rebuild. So, I would say reload.
I take mine back. I'm gonna say a reload, but smoke and mirrors reload. Because like we gonna have a reload mindset, but really like we rebuild it, man. Like we don't believe we can win Super Bowl this roster, man. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it.
Okay, I'm finna mess everybody up.
Here come violence.
Here we go. Everybody's watched the movie The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The Agent Smith. What is his favorite word? It's inevitable. It's inevitable that you're going to have to start over at some point.
Yeah.
It's coming. You can't run. The Titans are trying to run away from it. They are trying to run away from a rebuild. The rebuild is coming, whether you want it to or not. Every team is going to have to go through it eventually. New England's going through it right now. They trying to redefine themselves. Other teams, Seattle is kind of coming out of a rebuild a little bit. But a rebuild is inevitable. It's coming. Tannehill's on the last year of his deal. Derek Henry on the last year of his deal. And as sad as that's going to be, seeing those guys go eventually, because it's going to happen, why not go ahead and start rebuilding now? Now, I will say this, before people start chopping my head off, let me define what I mean by rebuild. And I can actually go both ways. You reload on defense, because the defense, you really don't need to mess with that.
Yeah.
All you need to do on defense, you need another decent pass rusher to go with Harold Landry. Rashard Weaver is your situational pass rusher. Maybe get another defensive lineman to go along with Big Jeff and Danico, because you're going to pay Big Jeff. Big Jeff about to get paid. Danico Autry is in his 30s. He ain't getting much younger, although he is very good.
Mm-hmm.
So you do need a defensive lineman to go along with Simmons when Autry is gone eventually. And you do need another cornerback, because I think McCreary and Elijah, even though Elijah has had an issue staying healthy, you put them both on the inside. You got to get another corner to go outside with Fulton. Fulton's got to stay healthy too. And you keep with Byard and Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
And your main question defensively is David Long, which, if they're smart, they better re-sign him.
Yeah.
Have him and Monty Rice as your starters. And you probably get another middle linebacker later that maybe can replace Rice or can be that third linebacker. Because Chance Campbell is a special teamer at best. So defensively, you reload. I don't mess with the defense very much. The offense needs a full-blown rebuild. It's time to blow it up.
Yeah,
true.
Go ahead and trade Tannehill, get you some draft capital, and this might be blasphemy coming out of my mouth. I love Derek Henry to death. He is our king. Long may he reign. And even though he is an alien beast, I've said this a million times. He's from another planet. Crash landed on Earth. But at some point, Derek Henry's tires are going to run out. He still may have a couple more years left. But Derek Henry is about to be on the wrong side of 30. And Derek Henry can't even beat Father Time. As great as he is, and I know people are going to say this is blasphemy, and I love Derek Henry to death. I want y'all to know that. But I would at least put a filler out there and see, what can I get for Derek Henry right now? I'm pretty sure I could get a second, maybe even a sneaky first, because somebody's going to think this team is stupid to trade this guy. And we probably would be. And I, for one, would not do it. I'm just saying it could be thought about, because a rebuild is coming, y'all. You might as well just prepare for it. And I know Firestone's about to roll out. Firestone, I appreciate you being on.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate it. Sorry I got to cut it short, man, but thank you for having me here.
I understand.
Yeah, y'all have a good one.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow, man.
But you got to face facts. It's inevitable. Rebuild is coming. Either you go get your quarterback now, you invest young, go get your quarterback now, whether it be Stroud or Young.
Young.
With a slender frame. Although Stroud is growing on me.
I like Stroud.
You tank for the future. You tank for Caleb Williams. You dip for Drake Mays. And you go for next year's quarterback class. And you build the rest of the offense. You may struggle at quarterback, but you're in position to get you a quarterback later. So we're going to find out. But I think it might be time to rebuild. And the reason why I brought that up is because of the Ryan Tannehill news. If you had said this to me a week ago, I say reload. They're gonna bring back Tannehill. But now that word rebuild is getting in my mind a little bit. I know we want to win, but I'm gonna quickly ask y'all this and we're gonna wrap up. Do you really think the Tennessee Titans have a roster right now that can win you a Super Bowl next season?
Nah, they don't.
Exactly.
Nah. That's why I said it's a rebuild.
You've got to have a roster to go up against Mahomes, who just won a Super Bowl. You know, Josh Allen and Buffalo coming back. Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere no time soon. Justin Herbert's about to get crazy paid. Baltimore, what are they going to do with Lamar Jackson?
That's another one.
Then, as crazy as it's going to sound, worry about your own division. Jacksonville is only going to get better. Trevor Lawrence, something is starting to get, they're starting to heat up in Jacksonville. You're hearing those Duval chants. Jacksonville, I said they'd be about a year, maybe next year or the year after they would be a problem. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. They're a problem right now already. They are a problem. Houston and Indy, you can, if you're going to rebuild, you cannot let Houston and Indianapolis get their hands on both of those quarterbacks. You need to steal one on one of those teams.
Like, bro, don't let them get them quarterbacks. I've been saying it. Don't let them get them quarterbacks.
You either go steal Young or you go steal Stroud. Because you don't want to have Tannehill or Willis or Dobbs going up against Trevor Lawrence twice a year, Bryce Young, who could be very good twice a year, and CJ Stroud twice a year in your own division.
We very well could be last in the division next year if we trade Tannehill and we don't trade up to go get a quarterback. I'm letting y'all know this now. Very well.
Set us up for Caleb.
Yeah, set up for Caleb.
It's on Jacksonville. And so, I mean, Titans got work to do.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to be moving like it's going to be a rebuild, though. That's my thing.
They're going to
move like that. I mean, it might be the rebuild might be inevitable. I mean, and it's going to have to happen at some point. But this season right here, I just can't see them, you know what I'm saying, moving like, a whole rebuild. Because, I mean, a whole rebuild, shoot, I mean, they'll be in line to cut a Derek Henry. I mean, they'll, just do away with Tannehill. They wouldn't entertain trade. I mean, they would just gut it to its core. And, hey, whoever we put out there, it is what it is. I mean, this is it.
Yeah. And Tremaine saying Malik is putting in a lot of work since the season's over. He better be putting in some work. He better be putting in a lot of work. Power Hour's right. You go on another losing streak, somebody go get kicked out the door. You got that right. JS75, bye-bye Tannehill, hello to Stroud.
I'm cool with either quarterback, man. I'm cool with either one.
I'm Stroud growing on me as well, man, because I heard some people point out, his completion percentages or whatever. I mean, he passes with anticipation. I mean, that's something right there we most definitely need.
One thing my thing is on Stroud is, dude, he had first round wide receivers. These boys was getting open left and right, man. Like when Bryce Young at Alabama, the first year, the year he won the Heisman, he had a lead receiver. This year he didn't have nobody. It was all him, man. It was all him. He
had some issues with pocket awareness at times.
Yeah.
But I think Stroud is extremely talented. Man. I gotta watch a little bit more. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here because I know this show ran a little long. I done talked everybody's head off. People probably want to, want to just rebuke me in the name of Jesus now. I know there's a lot of people out there that's like, Oh, Dad, truth. That dude stupid. He talking blasphemy now. Now, one other question. Hendon Hooker in the later round.
I like Hendon Hooker. I like Hendon. As a Vols fan, I'm taking my Vol glasses off. Yeah, I like Hendon Hooker.
And here's the thing about that. Hendon Hooker coming off of an injury. So he ain't going to be ready till at least October, which might be a good situation for us. You know, you can redshirt him this year, and but you're already in that situation where you got Malik in the third round. Now you're gonna get another guy in the later round. So I don't know. It would be interesting, but if he wasn't coming off the ACL, he would definitely be in first round consideration. And I would be kicking the tires about that for real. I definitely would. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this show up, and I'm going to let my guys, where can everybody find the Colosseum, and where can everybody find the Colosseum?
Oh, I guess he tuned out. Yeah, so
yeah, man, we finna take over, man. Titans Colosseum takeover.
Yeah, you want to find the Coliseum, man, find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube. If you type in Titans Coliseum on YouTube, it's an easy find. We'll be the first thing that pop up. Like I said, you want to buy some merchandise. If Firestone's here, you'll be able to post a link. We'll post a link.
Your merch.
Yes, sir. Go get your merchandise. I'm telling you, man, we doing big things, man. Also, man, if you guys keep supporting my boy Titans of Truth, man, he's doing a big thing too, man. So it's your boy RJ Ellison. Like I said, you know how it goes. Let Morocco get his rocks off.
Man, it ain't much to say, man. I mean, like my guy said, man, you can find us pretty much on any platform. I mean, make sure go get some merch. I mean, we got some pretty dope stuff. I mean, we got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got coffee mugs. I mean, we got a lot of good stuff, and just support all the Titans podcasters out there, man, because I mean, we're a very small knit community, and I mean, everybody that's in a community, no matter whether they agree with each other or they disagree, I mean, we all want the same thing. I mean, we all want what's best for this team. So go support us. I mean, and tighten up, man. I mean, I mean, we going through some rough times right now. We got a lot of tough decisions we got to make. But, hey, man, just think about, them dark days. I don't think nobody want the dark days anymore. But, Truth, thanks for having us on here, brother. Love what you're doing. Keep the energy up on here, man.
Man, I definitely appreciate that. And, you know what? On that note, he is absolutely right. So y'all make sure y'all go check out Titans Colosseum Podcast. I can't wait to rock my hoodie when it comes in. It's good. These guys put some good stuff together. And if y'all ain't see Morocco on Facebook, man.
Yes, sir, boy. Morocco
hype man.
I'll be back on my thing in September, man. But for right now, man, catch us Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Central Time.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. Big show
everybody, again, I say thank you to everybody. I thank you for everybody that has helped me get over 1,200. I'm heading toward 1,500. So help me out. Spread the word to everybody, to all the Titan fans everywhere. Because I know there's some Titan fans that haven't gotten to this point just yet. Again, smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe and ring that bell if you haven't already. And everybody, we out of here. I thank y'all for tuning into the show. Thanks to Titans Colosseum for coming on in here. Are you not entertained?
Tighten up.
So,
yes, sir. Tighten up.
Thank y'all for tuning in. And at the end of the day, y'all, we tighten up because that's all we know how to do. Good night, y'all.